Welcome to Cooking with Dr. K, where I teach you how to prepare simple, easy, healthy meals that support your body's natural ability to detox with just simple nutrients in really simple and time-efficient ways. I'm Dr. Kirsten, and today I'm making Instant Pot Chili. Funny note, I forgot to turn my mic on, so I'm going to catch you up with where I'm at today, and we'll just continue on from there. I'm making this Instant Pot Chili because it has been really wet and almost snowy. We didn't quite get any snow, but it's been cold, and I've been really wanting a chili, and I have figured out how to make this in the Instant Pot. And let me tell you, that's my favorite thing as far as making chili, because I don't have to do it in the morning before I'm running out the door in the slow cooker, and it takes maybe an hour and a half to do all of this and put it all together. So one of the things I did on camera, but without the mic on, was I browned the meat. And this is a really important step. You can do it in the Instant Pot, but what I would say is I would be very careful doing that, because what I've heard from a lot of people is that the Instant Pot will give them like an alarm saying there's burnt at the bottom, and so then it won't build up pressure. So what I would just recommend is using an extra pot and doing the extra dish and browning these, browning your meat. So make sure you season it with salt and pepper on both sides. Get that pan really hot and brown it so that when you put it into the Instant Pot, it has a lot of flavor. Okay, so then also what I did was I took pre-prepped from the weekend bell peppers and onions, and I added those into the pot with some avocado oil. And this is the best way to meal prep if you don't want to cook all of your meals over the weekend, because by Friday they usually get a little bit soggy and a little bit icky. So what I would recommend and what I do is I choose, like for example, I'll choose 3 recipes from my 30-day reset. So I'll choose like a couple of lunches and a dinner, or 2 dinners and a lunch. And what I'll do is I'll look at all those recipes, and I will take like the veggies and some of the things that I can prep. Even if I can cook the meat beforehand, I will do that, and then I'll put them all together the day of, so that I can cook it fresh, but also have it not take as much time. So bell peppers, 2 bell peppers, an onion. I did about probably 3/4 of an onion with avocado oil in the bottom of the pan, and it's going right now. I also added some seasoning salt. I added some garlic powder, some onion powder, and some chili powder, because one of the things you really want to do is make sure that you are seasoning in layers as you go. So now that I can smell that quite a bit and we are getting hot and ready to go with that, what I'm going to do is add some diced tomatoes. Hopefully take the steam down a little bit. And then I'm going to add the garlic. So it's about 4 cloves of garlic. I like a lot of garlic. If you are not as much of a fan of garlic, you can either omit it, or you can do like 2. I just happen to really like garlic, so I'm using a lot of it. So I mix that all in. Good. And then, so you're going to add in a cup of chicken stock. Now, one of the things that we're going to do too is we're going to add in something that I found when I was looking to improve my chili recipe, was to use soy sauce. And one of the other things that you're going to find on the website too, on the recipe, is I also include sometimes fish sauce. I'm not doing that today, and it is optional, but one thing that's really interesting about fish sauce is that it actually provides a lot, it just helps boost the flavor quite a bit. So I'm adding in some soy sauce and some fish sauce today, so I'm just going to add in about a tablespoon. Now, I would personally rather use coconut aminos, but what I have today is soy sauce. So I'm going to add in a little bit of that. Okay. All right, and so next, I'm going to mix that up here. Okay, and now I'm going to add some more cumin. I'm going to add about, usually add about 2 tablespoons of this. Honestly, I'm going to see how it looks here. that's probably enough. Okay, we got some of that. And then we also want to do a little bit more chili powder. I said do about 2 tablespoons, so I would do about 1 tablespoon when it goes in with the bell peppers and the onions, and then I do another bit of chili pepper or chili powder once everything else is in. Perfect, that's looking good. I'm gonna add some red pepper flakes. These are, you can omit these if you are not a big fan of spicy food. Perfect. Okay, and I'm gonna do some pepper. And some salt. Now this is kind of a liquidy chili. What I do is I serve it over either white rice or I serve it over sweet potatoes. So it's really, really easy to do. It's just a little bit more liquidy usually, but it's not, there's not enough liquid in here to cause any problems as far as like spilling over. And then the last thing that we do is I'm going to add in the kidney beans. There's some people that don't, they usually wait, but I'm gonna add them in. And then I'm also then gonna put the meat on top. I'm gonna put the meat on top, and then we're gonna close the lid, and we're gonna set it for 70 minutes on pressure. So just to recap, when I started the Instant Pot to do the onions and the bell peppers, I have it on saute, and it's on saute for about 30 minutes. I'm obviously not gonna take that long, but that's what you do, is you press saute, you do the 30 minute, you start it up, you start with sauteing those onions and those bell peppers. Meanwhile, on the stove, you can be browning your meat, and then start putting in all those sauces, start putting in the flavors. I'm gonna put the meat in. We have everything in here, and then we're gonna switch it over to the pressure cooker side. So, that's all good there. We're gonna add this puppy in. I just really like to get it as incorporated in there as possible, because you really want all those flavors to come out. Okay. So I'm gonna cancel that. I'm gonna put our lid on. And make sure it's at sealing. And then we're gonna click manual 70. And then that's it. So now it's gonna take a little bit of time extra than the 70 to build up some pressure, and then that's when it's gonna start that timer. So now, basically all we do is we wait for that to be done. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna prep some sweet potatoes so that I can serve it over top of that. And then we will come back and I'll show you what it looks like, how I finish this up, and then that's it, okay? So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so I have So the Instant Pot turned off and it was good to go. I released the pressure, and you can do that 2 ways. You can either do it yourself and you just hit the valve, just be careful of the steam, and just let it do its thing. Or what you can just do is let it, once it beeps and it's done, you can just let it stay that way, and it'll naturally and release some of the pressure about 10 to 15 minutes, and you can probably open up the lid. But what's great about an Instant Pot is that it also keeps your food warm, kind of like a slow cooker when it's done cooking as far as the pressure goes. So that's kind of nice. So what I've done is I've taken the meat out of the Instant Pot, and I've put it into my KitchenAid bowl, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the attachment, and I'm going to have it do the shredding for me. If you don't have one of these, you can easily just use your forks and do that, and that's pretty easy. You just take 2 forks and you just shred it all up, and it's really, really quick. But I am going to do it this way. This is a little more efficient. Okay, get that on there. Okay, so what you want to use is the paddle attachment, and so we'll get this on here. Good. Okay, so now that I have that all set up, then I'm just going to bring this bowl up here, just like that, and then we turn it on. And that is it. That was so easy. Basically, I learned it from one of my favorite chefs to follow. Her name is Cassie Joy Garcia, and it's the best. So I do this almost every time now. I love it. It's so easy. All right, so I'm going to get the meat off of here. Now, what you do is you take this whole thing, and I have, because of the chuck roast that I use, because it's off of a cow that we like bought the whole thing, one of the pieces with it is that it usually has a lot of the fat still, so I'm going to pull some of that off because I don't really need to be mowing down on some of that. Good, okay, so I'm just going to pick through here really quick, make sure that some of these pieces still got undone because there's still a little bit. Grab a fork here. My dog is on the other side of this camera and would really like for me to drop a piece or two for him. Awesome. Okay. That's looking pretty good. So again, if you don't have one of those, you can easily, you can easily just do it with your fork, you know, so you just take two and start to peel them apart. Okay, next. When you take the chili out of the Instant Pot, when you look at it, it's gonna look really, really liquidy. I know that a lot of people really like their chilies to be kind of thick. If that's the case, you can always add something like arrowroot powder or even cornstarch, and that'll thicken it up quite a bit. You might also try, instead of using diced tomatoes, you could use tomato sauce, and that would also help with that too. It's just partially because of the chicken broth itself. It tends to make it a little bit more liquidy, and then of course I add in the juices of the tomato, diced tomatoes as well. So if you don't like that, but it'll thicken up quite a bit with this once the meat goes in, and then when you put it on top of the sweet potatoes will absorb some of that liquid as well, and it's really, really good, and it's not quite so soupy, I suppose, if that's kind of how you want to put it. So I'm going to dump this back in. We're going to wrap this up. Now, something else that you can do that you can add to this is you can do zucchini, you can do squash. There's all sorts of veggies that you can add to this chili that make it more colorful, healthier, just a good way to sneak veggies in. Okay, so I'm gonna put the rest of this in here. Awesome. Okay. Look at that. Okay, so next, I'm gonna take some of my sweet potatoes and spoon those in to the bottom, just a little bit, because the bowls aren't that big. And I've already started that with my lunches for tomorrow. So just like that. And then we grab a spoon. Awesome. And on goes the chili. And that is that simple to put together a really, really easy chili. It's often even better if you add in some ground turkey or some ground beef with the shredded. I just didn't have any today, but it is better if you do that. It just tends to be a little less liquidy and kind of more like a chili, I think, to me. Okay, perfect. So that goes like that. And I'll finish those later. And then I'm going to top it with some avocado. You can top it with some sour cream or some Greek yogurt. I can't do dairy, so I try to avoid those. But you could also do I've never tried it, but you could maybe do like a coconut-based yogurt or a soy-based yogurt, as long as it's, you know, flavorless, so it's not vanilla and unsweetened. And then you could also top it with some cilantro. Oh, the other thing too that you want to do, add some apple cider vinegar to the whole thing. So before you serve it up, add about a tablespoon or two of some apple cider vinegar, and it just helps to bring those flavors out. And then you can also add some lime. You can top with some lime juice as well. And that is basically my way that I make chili in the Instant Pot, and I just try to put as many veggies as possible as I can, because colors mean health. They mean lots and lots of nutrients that are going to feed your cells, and this is one of the easiest ways that you can do that, is just by putting something together that doesn't take too much time and is easy to make. Okay, you guys, you can follow me at Dr. Kirsten on both Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more episodes like this and you'd like to see them in your inbox, you can go to my website at gymcall.com/blog and grab the free resource that's on there about 10 hidden signs of inflammation that you may not know about, and how they may be affecting you, and why it would be important to track those down and cut them out. So if you want that, and you want these recipes in your inbox every single week on Thursday, go to the website, check that out, and I will see you at the next episode next week on Thursday at 1 p.m. Thanks you guys for watching.